Yeah, good evening. I will start another 2 more minutes. Yeah, fine. Yes. Now the topic is hyperbola, right? Yes, you're able to see this, right? The topic is hyperbola. In the previous classes we completed circles, ellipse, I completed, parabola we completed. Now I'm going to do hyperbola. What is the actual meaning of hyperbola? Just I think what's the meaning of hyperbola? When I'm talking about hyperbola, here, see, it is a set of all points in a plane. Hyperbola is a set of all points in a plane. You can see the difference of whose distances from two fixed points of the plane is a constant. And I am talking about hyperbola. So here, a hyperbola is a set of all points in a plane. The difference of whose distances from two fixed points in the plane is a constant. Take two fixed points, F1, F2 are two fixed points. I have taken this is x-axis, this is y-axis. I have taken x-axis and y. This is x-axis and y-axis. I have taken this one y dash. I have taken here. These are the two fixed points I have taken. F1, F2 are two fixed points. These are the two fixed points. You take one point, suppose let it be P1. You take the point P1. What they are saying here, the difference of whose distances from whose distances from two fixed points in the plane is a constant. Suppose you take one point P1, you join this one, F2. Now take the difference of this. I can write P1 F2. But what I'm saying here, you can write P1 F2 minus P1 F2 minus P1 F1. This should be equal to. That's the meaning of this. What they're saying here. If I take one point here, I've written F1 F2 4, right? Both I've taken right. P1 F2 minus P1 F1. The difference. You take one more point here. Suppose you take one point here. Suppose you take a point P2 here. Join this and join this one. Join this point here. See, this should be also equal to, you can take the distance P2 F1 minus P2 F2. These two are constant always. That's the meaning of this. The difference of those distances from two fixed points. These two are fixed points. In the plane is a constant. You take point P1, P2 anywhere on the conic, on the hyperbola. You take the hyperbola. I have taken the point here. So these two are equal. This is constant. This should be equal to constant. I'm saying this is constant. The difference is constant. No, it's the same value you will get. You take, if you want one more point, you take again. Take the distance from that point to any one of the foci. You take again other foci, you draw that. Take difference of those distances, always fixed. That they are saying here. There is a definition of hyperbola. The difference will be constant. I'm going to prove that the difference will be equal to some particular value. That also I'm going to prove that. Because we have seen in the ellipse, the sum of the focal distances is 2a, we have done there. In the case of ellipse. Here difference, this is called focal distance. Difference of focal distance is constant. Here also I'm going to prove difference of these focal distance should be equal to 2a. I'm going to prove that the difference of those focal distance is equal to 2a. Now here, first you observe here. In hyperbola, what they will say, the line passes through foci is called, they will say transverse axis. This is called transverse axis. I can say transverse axis. I can say transverse axis. The line passing through foci is called transverse axis. The line which passes through F1 and F2 is called transverse axis. I can say transverse axis. The midpoint of F1 and F2 is called center of the conic. Here this x-axis, y-axis. This will become 0, 0 origin right, 0, 0. The midpoint of F1, F2. The midpoint of F1, F2 is called center of the conic, center of the hyperbola here. The midpoint of F1, F2 is called center of the hyperbola. The midpoint of F1, F2 is called center of the hyperbola. Here in this case, this is origin 0, 0. Now, the line which passes through center of the hyperbola, the line which passes through center of the hyperbola and perpendicular to transverse axis, and perpendicular to transverse axis is called conjugate axis. This is conjugate axis. I can say conjugate axis. A line passes through center of the hyperbola and perpendicular to transverse axis is called conjugate axis. This is conjugate axis. Here conjugate axis along y-axis and transverse axis along x-axis. Transverse axis along x-axis, and also the point of intersection of hyperbola with its transverse axis is called vertex. This is vertex. A dash are vertices. This is A dash. This is A. These two are the, I can write vertex. This is vertex, vertex. So A is vertex. This is also vertex. A and A dash are vertices of the hyperbola. The point of intersection of hyperbola with its transverse axis is called vertex. Two vertices we have. A and A dash are the vertices. That you just need to know, those are the vertices here. And also here, you remember, understood, these are the vertices. Fixed points are called foci. This is focus. Here also this is focus. Correct? Focus, focus. Transverse axis, conjugate axis, vertices. We discussed now here. What I will do now, in this I am going to explain. They will fix the distances again. The distance from O to OA, this distance is A. This distance is A. This distance also A. Total 2A. A dash is equal to 2A. A dash is equal to 2A. The center to this one, A, this is A. Here I can define A dash is equal to 2A. What is A dash? Length of transverse axis. Length of transverse axis, you can consider the A dash between vertices. A dash is equal to 2A. We'll define that. Same time, we can also discuss, you can see the center to foci. This will be the distance is C. OF2 I can consider. OF2, OF1. I can get the distance. OF1 is equal to OF2 is equal to C. OF1 is equal to OF2 is equal to C. The distance between center to the any one of the foci is C constant. So automatically you can think what will be the foci will be, this will be C comma 0 minus C comma 0, right? Since you know what is the distance is, you can see distance is A means on x-axis. What about A here? The vertex will be this will be A comma 0. This is A comma 0. This is minus A comma 0. I will discuss again all this. Those points I can discuss again. I can discuss. Just you remember, A dash total distance is 2A. Okay. Here 0 origin to F2 C. Origin to F1 the distance is C. The total distance between F1 and F2 is equal to 2C. F1 of 2 is equal to 2C. Correct. Here F1 of 2 is, I can define this one. F1 F2 is equal to 2C. F1 of 2 is equal to 2C. Distance between that. Because 0 to F1 C. The R is not 0 is this sort of origin. Origin to F2. But OF2. OF2 is C. OF1 also C. Correct. You remember that. Now, what they have done here, of knowing these things, so they define the value of B. How they define the value of B? They define the value of B. Consider B. They define the value of B. They are mentioned here. Define the quantity of B. Define the value of B. B is equal to root of A square minus. They will define here. They define root of C square minus A square. They define like this. They define the value of B, root of C square minus A square. After doing all this, you should define the quantity of B as B equal to root of C square minus A square. This is B equal to root of C square minus A square. Here, when I have taken A plus A 2A, length of transverse axis. Length of transverse axis is 2A. Half of that, length of semi-transverse axis A. Length of semi-transverse axis A. Length of semi-transverse axis A. Now, after defining the you define the quantity of B as B root of C square minus A square, then 2B. So they will mention somewhere the points are imaginary points, conjugate axis. Actually, conjugate axis. We will define B point somewhere. This is B, this is B dash. We will define on the conjugate as B, B dash. Like after define the quantity of B, we can consider BB dash is equal to 2B. BB dash is equal to 2B. BB dash is equal to 2B. You can see A dash is equal to A, length of transverse axis. After defining A and C values, we can define the value of B quantity root of C square minus A square. Then B is called length of semi-conjugate axis. 2B is called length of conjugate axis. This is conjugate axis. B, B dash. We will take the points B, B dash. BB dash is equal to 2B. So define like this. So these are the things here. Now I am going to explain how do we get this one as constant. P of 1 minus P this one. P of P1 F2 minus P1 F1 also equal to P2 F1 minus P2 F2, which is constant. That I am going to explain now. After that, I will explain about the eccentricity and standard equation of hyperbola. After that, I will give a hint how to find the derivation of the hyperbola. I will discuss just a few points about that. After I will discuss lattice rectum. After discussion of lattice rectum, straight away you can solve the problems. So today class maybe maximum it takes another half an hour. Okay, you can see that. Just you can go through this. I am going to explain now how you get the difference of the focal distance is equal to constant. What about the constant value? I am going to explain now. The difference of focal distance. You can see here when I have taken this one. Just you can observe here. I have taken like this, right? You can see here. So these are origin. This is A dash. Let it be F2. Here F4 you can consider F1. Correct. Now I am trying to prove the difference of focal distance is constant. What about the constant value? You take A is a point on this one. You take a point here. You can see here. We know the distance OA. This is A, right? We know A dash is equal to 2A. We know this, and we also know OF2 and OF1 is equal to. We know this is C. Correct. The distances we know. Correct. Now you can see what I'm going to do now. Since A is a point on the hyperbola, since A is a point on the hyperbola, since A is a point on the hyperbola, I can consider. You can see the difference. A is a point hyperbola. I can take A of 1 minus A of 2. This should be constant. I'm going to that should be constant. What about the constant value? A of 1, because this is the farthest point, this is nearest point. The difference always positive. There's the farthest point you take, nearest point you take. Suppose you take this is the point A1, A dash. If you take A dash is the point in the hyperbola, you take A dash of 2 minus A dash of 1 also you can take it. No problem. I have taken this. What about this value? You can check that. What is A of 1? When I am talking A of 1, you observe here A of 1. A of 1 is A. You can see this is A dash plus A dash f1 minus A of 2. Check that. What is A of 2? A of 2 can I consider O of 2 minus OA? O of 2 minus OA, can I consider this? Am I right? Understood. A of 1. A of 1 means A dash plus A dash f1, right? Minus A of 2. This like A of 2 means from this O of 2 minus OA. We know that O of 2 is, we know C. You can see what is A dash? A dash is 2A, always fixed. A dash, the distance between A dash is 2A, right? 2A. A dash, what about this distance? We know this total distance is, we know from this total distance is, we know that this is C. From C, remove this A. This is A, right? This total distance is C. So if you remove, I want only this one, A dash F1, right? This is A dash F1. I want A dash F1, right? So you can think A dash F1 will become, it will become here C, this one C minus A. This will become C minus A. You can see this one C minus A minus of O of 2. What is O of 2? O of 2 is C. C minus OA. When I'm talking OA, this is this also A, right? This is A. Now you simplify. I get a 2A plus C minus A minus C plus A. You get cancelled. This is equal to 2A. Correct. The difference of the focal distances is constant, which is equal to 2A. What is 2A? Length of the transverse axis. Always length of the transverse axis. See, this is called, you can see here when I've taken, this is one. Difference of the focal distances. A of 1 focal distance, A of 2 focal distance. Difference of focal distance always constant, which is equal to 2A. Which is equal to 2A. Correct. Now, using this relation, we can derive the equation of the standard equation of the hyperbola. So we got here A of like this, we got A of 1 minus A of 2 is equal to, we have got this one as 2A. Right, correct. Suppose if you want to derive the standard equation of the hyperbola, I'll tell you what is standard equation of the hyperbola. Generally, when the, look here, if you are talking about simplest form of the hyperbola, the center should be at origin, and like foci should be on the transverse axis. When the foci is on the you can say along x-axis. When the foci is along the x-axis or y-axis, the foci is along the x-axis or y-axis, and the center is at the origin, then we can say that is the simplest form of the hyperbola. Now I will explain about that. Before that, suppose you take one point P here. So if you take a point P, I can join this. Correct. What can write now? You can see here. What you will get this one. From this you can discuss about this one. When I have taken like this, P is a point in the hyperbola, right? P is a point in the hyperbola. When P is a point in the hyperbola, I can write P of 1 minus P of 2. Just to be proved, the difference is 2A always 2A. You take this. So P is the point x comma y. We know F2 is C comma 0. F1 minus C comma 0. Use these points. Use distance between 2 points formula. Distance between 2 points formula. You simplify. If you simplify, you will get this equation. After further simplification, you will get one stage. You will get x square by a square. You will get minus y square by. You will get this one c square minus a square. You will get c square minus a square is equal to 1. I'm talking about derivation of hyperbola. You take this relation, use distance between 2 points formula, simplify. If you simplify this, eliminate root. If you simplify, the one stage you will get like this: x square by a square minus y square by c square minus a square is equal to 1. But I defined this value in the beginning. We defined this should be considered as b square. So x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Where b square is equal to c square minus a square, we'll consider this. We'll define this. B you can write here. C square minus a square is equal to b square. We'll define like this. So like this we will get standard equation of the hyperbola. But now again, I will discuss now when I'm talking about this one. Standard equation, before that I will discuss eccentricity. What is the meaning of eccentricity? When I'm talking about eccentricity, so they define. Eccentricity means always they will write E eccentricity denoted by E, which is equal to C by A. Always here, this C is more, this is right, this is right. This is C, this is A. C will be greater than A, right? C greater than A. It never be less than 1. Always eccentricity is more than 1. Because C greater than A. Eccentricity is never less than 1. It is greater than 1. Remember, eccentricity of hyperbola is greater than 1. Eccentricity of the ellipse less than 1. Eccentricity of the parabola E is equal to 1. Eccentricity of the circle E is equal to 0. That we discussed. Now you can see greater than 1 you will get always. You remember eccentricity should be greater than 1. That point you can remember here. This eccentricity is hyperbola E equal to C by A. Since E equal to C by, that I will discuss now. E equal to C by means C equal to AE I can write. Then foci F1 is equal to C comma 0. AE comma 0 will come. F2 minus AE comma 0. This one is F1, one is F2. Minus AE plus AE. AE comma 0 minus AE comma 0, AE comma 0. I can define that. I will define that. Just you remember this. From this I can define like this. My AE comma minus AE comma 0, AE comma 0. Since C is equal to AE. Now here, what are we going to discuss now? What about standard? In the case of standard equation, when they are talking standard equation of hyperbola, when they're talking standard equation of hyperbola, standard equation of hyperbola, we have two orientations are there. We have two orientations, two possible orientations we will discuss now. So standard equation of hyperbola. When I'm talking standard equation of hyperbola, now you can observe now. Definitely here you can think the equation of hyperbola is in simplest form. The center should be at the origin. Remember the center. The center should be at the origin, and the foci are on the either x-axis or y-axis. When you're talking standard equation of hyperbola, remember here the equation of hyperbola is in simplest form. Is in the simplest form when the center is at the origin, and the foci either on x-axis or y-axis. So remember the foci should be or on the x-axis or y-axis. Then we can say that the equation of hyperbola is in simplest form. In simplest form. You can see here I can consider. See when I'm talking about this one, this is I will discuss. This is one hyperbola here. This is transverse axis along with x-axis. This is origin 0, 0. This one. This is conjugate axis that we discussed. This is transverse axis. Here, this is F2. This is F1, right? F1. What is F2? C comma 0. What is F1 minus C comma 0, right? Vertex A. This is vertex A. This is A dash. What about this vertex? We know this vertex is, you will get A0. This vertex is minus A0, right? What about this equation? This equation always, we can write this equation. X square by A square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. That will be the equation of this. X square by A square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Equation of hyperbola. Whenever the transverse axis is along x-axis, you will get like this. And also remember, the coefficient of x square is positive. When the coefficient of x square is positive, then that will be in that case when the coefficient of x square is positive here, the focus should be on the here because along the x-axis. The transverse along the x-axis. See, whenever the coefficient of y square is positive means definitely the transverse axis will be along the y-axis. But the coefficient of x is 1 by a square. If it 1 by a square is positive, coefficient of y square minus 1 by b square is negative. So coefficient of x square, which is you can check that when the coefficient of x square or y square is positive, it depends. Here in that case we can decide when we are talking about coefficient of x square, coefficient of y square, we will discuss. It should be positive means the transverse axis will be along that axis. Now you can see here, this will be this one. Suppose if I take, you can say another one. When I'm talking, this hyperbola, conjugate axis, no, here this is conjugate axis along x-axis, transverse axis along y-axis. When transverse axis along y-axis, so here you will get right. Just you can observe here. Just I'm giving this is I will write here. I can write. So F1, F2. I can write this is center right. This axis we know here conjugate axis. This is transverse axis. Here you can write A dash. Correct. I can write A dash. You can remember here. I can write A dash here. Now you can see what about this length. Oh yeah, this is fixed here only. 0 comma A dash 0 comma minus A F1 0 comma C F2 0 comma minus C. You take F1 or F2, F2 no problem. But say 0 comma C 0 comma minus C. Foci. What is this have written? What about this equation? This equation will be you will get y square. This equation will be y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. This is the equation of this. Y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. That will be, you can see the quotient of y square is positive. 1 by a square positive. Then definitely in this case, the transverse axis along y axis. In this case, the transverse axis along x axis. That's the difference you should check. We should not compare the value of a and b here. Always in the ellipse we discuss about a greater than b. But here nothing, no comparison. Just you remember. Under y square is quotient of y square is positive means transverse axis along y-axis. You can see the quotient x square is positive means the transverse axis along x-axis, here along y-axis. The equation of, in this case, equation is y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. In this case, x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. These are the two orientations of the hyperbola. Now, here I can discuss about, like, what about, again, see, always remember this hyperbola is symmetric about both the axes, right? Is symmetric with respect to both the axes. Remember here, hyperbola is symmetric with respect to both the axes. So this is symmetric with respect to this axis, x-axis and y-axis. Hyperbola is symmetric with respect to both the axes. That's the reason. If you know one point on this, you take one point P x comma y. If you take one point on this, definitely another 3 points I can find. When x comma is 1 point, I can find this point is, I can find here x comma minus y. I can find corresponding point, I can write minus x comma y. I can find another point here minus x minus y. Since it is symmetric with respect to both the axes, if you know one point, other 3 points simply I can find. X comma y is a point, minus x comma y, minus x minus y, x comma minus y are also points on the hyperbola. That we can find it. Correct. Now, you can see, like, like this, I told you here, depending on the coefficient of x square, y square, you can define this. For example, if I take the equation, you can see here. If I take the example, you can see here. Just I'll give you an idea about that. Suppose if we take one equation of the hyperbola x square by 9 minus y square by 16 equal to 1. This is an example. Suppose I given like this. Don't see which is more here. See below x square, this quotient of x square is positive. That means this equation should represent the transverse axis along x-axis. This represents this one, right? This is hyperbola. The transverse axis along x-axis. Suppose if we take another one, we can write y square by 25 minus x square by 16 equal to, if you take this one. If we take like this one. If we take this one, you can see quotient of y square, x square is negative here. Quotient of y square is positive. In this case, you will get hyperbola this one. Here transverse axis along y-axis. When y square quotient is positive, transverse axis along y-axis. When x square quotient is positive, transverse axis along x-axis. Just you can remember that. Now, I will discuss about latus rectum. What is the meaning of latus rectum? When I am talking about latus rectum, what is the meaning of latus rectum? If you take an hyperbola, latus rectum means intersection. When I am writing, when they are talking lattice rectum, we have lattice recta here. A line passes through focus and perpendicular to transverse axis, any one of the foci. I can write this is F1, F2. I can write. You can see here. What is the lattice rectum is? A line passes through focus perpendicular to transverse axis, and the end point should be on the hyperbola. Then this is called lattice rectum, right? L1, L1 dash. I can write L2, L2 dash, L2, L2 dash. Correct. Where we observe here whose endpoints lie on the hyperbola here. A line segment which is passes through any one of the foci. A line passes through any one of the focus and perpendicular to transverse axis is known as lattice rectum, and the end point should be on the hyperbola, right? Whose end points lie in the hyperbola. Here you can see L1, L1 dash is called length of lattice rectum. L2, L2 dash is called length of lattice rectum. Length of lattice rectum. What about this length? Always remember, here this length is equal to 2b square by a. I can write L1, L1 dash is equal to 2b square by a. Same here also. L2, L2 dash is equal to 2b square by a. That's the formula, 2b square by a. You can find 2b square by a. I can find the same thing. If you want ends of the lattice rectum, this is up to c comma 0. So this is this vertical line. When vertical is no change in x coordinate, so this point will be c comma b square by a. What about this one? You will get c comma minus b square by a, right? Because it is symmetric with respect to both the axes. F2 is the midpoint of this. Correct. This length is b square by a, this length is b square by a, c comma minus b square by a, c comma b square by a. What about the same thing? What is L2 here? This is minus c comma 0, right? This will become minus c comma b square by a. What about this one? Minus c comma minus b square by a. Length of the lattice rectum. Total length, 2b square by a. Length of the lattice rectum is equal to 2b square by a. That is the formula, right? So with this, almost I covered the theory part. Now we will do the problems on exercise 11.4. I will explain the problems on 11.4. Right. Now we'll solve the problems on 11.4. Take exercise 11.4. I think I covered all the points in this. Now exercise 11.4. Very few problems are quickly you can solve that. 11.4. Exercise 11.4. This is the first problem. When you are talking 11.4 exercise, they are asking exercise from 1 to 6. Find the coordinates of the foci and the vertices, the eccentricity, and the length of the lattice rectum of the hyperbola. First one you can take the first problem. X square by 16 minus y square by 9 equal to 1. Correct? Just immediately you can check that. So this is positive, means here transverse axis along x-axis. Immediately I can draw this one. Transverse along x-axis. This is the given one. This is the given one, right? These are the vertices. This is the foci I can write. F1, F2 I can write. This is c comma 0 minus c comma 0, a comma 0 minus a comma 0. This is origin. They are asking first one foci. First we'll compare. This one I can compare with. This is a square, right? You can compare a square, x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. A square is equal to 16. B square is equal to, you will get to 9. We have formula c square equal to a square plus b square. A square plus b square. It will come 25. C square is equal to 25. C is equal to 5. The distance C is equal to 5. You can say I can write foci. I can write what is F1 minus 5 comma 0. F2 5 comma 0. They're asking foci. And we know a square equal to 16. Then a is equal to 4, right? A square is equal to 16. A is equal to 4. Then what about this a dash vertices? They're asking a equal to a comma 0, 4 comma 0. A dash is equal to minus a comma 0, minus 4 comma 0, right? I can write vertices. I can write. They're asking foci, vertices. The eccentricity E equal to c by a. What is eccentricity? E is equal to c by a. So c value we know 5 by a value 4. 5 by 4, definitely more than 1. When eccentricity is greater than 1, we got 5 by 4 eccentricity. Next they're asking length of lattice rectum. What is length of lattice rectum passing through this? Just now I got this one. Length of passing through focus. So I can write L1 dash 2b square by a. You can write length of lattice rectum. I can write length of lattice rectum. Right, length of lattice rectum I can write 2b square by a. You can substitute 1, 2 into b square is 9. A is 4. Correct. You will get 9 by 2. This is length of the lattice rectum. 2b square by a. We have done the first problem, right? Look at the second problem. Y square by 9. Just look at the second problem. Y square by 9. Just look at the second problem. Y square by 9 minus x square by 27. X square by 27 equal to 1. They are given like this. Correct. Now you can observe here. Below y square is this coefficient y square is positive. Definitely in that case, the hyperbola here, in this hyperbola, the transverse axis along y axis. So I can write this. This is along y axis. This one I can consider. So this is A dash, origin. Again, this is the focus 0, comma C. This is the focus here. You get 0, comma minus C, right? 0, comma A, 0, comma minus A, right? What is this? Correct? Again, let focus this one. One is F1, another one is F2. I can write 0, comma minus C, right? But we know here this is A square. This is A square. You can compare. This equation is y square by A square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. Here a square is equal to 9, b square is equal to 27. Correct. A is equal to 3. We know formula c square equal to a square plus b square. C square equal to a square plus b square formula we have right. Not only derive right. C square equal to a square plus b square right. So we have that is the formula here. C square equal to a square plus b square. We will get 9 plus 27. 36. C square equal to 36. C is equal to 6. The foci will be, what the foci will be? I can write foci is equal to plus or minus C comma 0. Not sorry, not plus or minus C comma 0 comma plus or minus C. 0 comma plus or minus 6. Then I have written 0 comma C, 0 comma minus C, 0 comma plus or minus 6. Foci. Now, I want vertices. What about vertices? When I am talking about vertices, 0 comma plus or minus A. So 0 comma plus or minus A means what is the value of A? 3. Correct. When A square is equal to 9, A is equal to 3. Second rate plus or minus 3. They are asking foci. Vertices and eccentricity. What is eccentricity? E equal to C by A. I can write C by A right. C value 6 by A value 3. It gives 2 right. E equal to C by A. We got C by A. That will be eccentricity. Correct. After finding eccentricity, now you can check that what they are saying here. After finding eccentricity, I can also discuss one more point here. E equal eccentricity is equal to 2 here. They are asking length of the lattice rectum. Length of the lattice is 2b square by A. Length of the lattice rectum you can write. Length of the lattice rectum 2b square by A. 2 into b square. What is b square here? B square is 27. By A is 3. So 3 9 18. Because that is length of the lattice rectum. Like that we can find all the values. Now coming to 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I can tell you one of the problem here. You can see the given 3, 4, 5, 6. One of the model I will discuss. You take third one. 9y square minus 4x square. If you make it standard form, then you can do like this only. This third one, 9y square, correct, 9y square minus 4x square equal to 36. To write in the standard form, right hand should be 1. You divide with the 36. You will get 9y square by 36 minus 4x square by 36 equal to 1, right? It will become y square by 4 minus x square by 9 equal to 1. Since the y square quotient is positive, then you will get this is the transverse axis along y-axis, right? You get like this. Correct. You get standard form. Even other problems are 4, 5, 6 also like this only. I can do like this. I can compare. This is a square equal to 4. I can write. This is focus, right? This is vertices. Correct. This is a dash. You can observe here. This is a square. A square is equal to 4, and a square is equal to 4. B square is equal to 9. So a is equal to 2. Excuse me. C square equal to a square plus b square, right? We know this value. 4 plus 9, 13. C is equal to root 13, right? C is equal to root 13. Since C is equal to root 13, what is the foci now? I can write foci equal to, you can write 0, comma plus or minus C, 0, comma plus or minus root 13. That will be foci, right? This will come 0, comma C, 0, comma minus C. What is this? This vertices we know. This is 0, comma A, 0, comma minus A, right? The vertices I can also write. I can mention vertices equal to, what is equal to 0, comma plus or minus A. So 0, comma plus or minus, what is A value? 2 plus or minus 2. What is this I can write? After eccentricity, what is the eccentricity can find here? Eccentricity equal to C by A. What is C value? Root 13 by A value 2. This is eccentricity value, right? They're asking after that, what they're asking here? Length of the lattice rectum. 2b square by A. I can write length of the lattice rectum. Length of the lattice rectum is equal to 2b square by A. So 2 into b square, 9. 2 into 9 you will get by A. A is 2. It comes 9 only, right? 2b square by A, length of the lattice rectum, 2b square by A. In the case of ellipse, also same formula, hyperbola also same formula, 2b square by A. We get the answer is 9. Correct. Similarly, you can do the problems of 4, 5, 6. Write the standard form, do the same procedure. Like what I have done, 1, 2, 3. Now, before doing next problem, one more point I will discuss here. After I will continue the next problem. Just one more point. You can see what about the point here. Before doing seventh problem, just remember in hyperbola, x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. If a is equal to b, this hyperbola is called equilateral hyperbola or rectangular hyperbola. Remember that. If a is equal to b, this hyperbola is called equilateral hyperbola or rectangular hyperbola. Remember that point. You note on that point. If a is equal to b, this hyperbola is called equilateral hyperbola or rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. In this case, always remember, we know the relation c square equal to a square plus b square. If you take, you get c square equal to 2a square, you will get right. C square equal to 2a square, here you will get. Always you can remember, when I am taking in this case, c square equal to a square plus b square. So c square equal, you get to 2a square, it will come. Correct? What is c value would come? C is equal to root 2 into a. What is eccentricity? E equal to c by a. So root 2a by a becomes root 2. So in the case of rectangular hyperbola, root 2 is the eccentricity. That's what I discussed here. Remember, in a hyperbola, if a is equal to b, that hyperbola is called equilateral hyperbola or rectangular hyperbola. In the rectangular hyperbola, the eccentricity is root 2, fixed root 2 value. So I explained here, since they are equal to b, rectangular hyperbola or equilateral hyperbola. So you know from c square plus a square plus b square. So b square replaced with a square 2a square c equal to root 2a, e equal to c by a, root 2a by a, root 2 into eccentricity. It gives eccentricity here, remember that point. Because sometimes they will ask eccentricity rectangular hyperbola is root 2. Now, I will write question number 7. Vertices plus or minus 2 comma 0. 7th one. Vertices plus or minus 2 comma 0 given, and foci they given plus or minus 3 comma 0. Just look into this. Foci plus or minus 3 comma 0. Vertices plus or minus 2 comma 0. Since vertices also plus or minus 2 comma 0, foci plus or minus 3 comma 0. Definitely the transverse axis along x-axis. Since you can write, since the transverse axis along x-axis, the equation required hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square b square is equal to 1. Since the transverse axis along x-axis, the equation of the required hyperbola is this you can write. X is this one you can write. Then I can compare. Vertices the given. So the given vertice is equal to plus or minus 2 comma 0. I can compare plus or minus a comma 0, right? So a is equal to 2. I can write. Foci. When we are talking foci is plus or minus 3 comma 0, compare with plus or minus c comma 0. C is equal to 3, right? A is equal to 2, C is equal to 3. Correct? I know only B. I want A, I know. I want B also, right? This is the equation of the required hyperbola. But we know relation. C square equal to A square plus B square, right? So from this B square is equal to C square minus A square. We know C square is 9. Minus A square is 4. This is B square is equal to 5. I got B square is equal to 5. Therefore, the equation of the required hyperbola is x square by A square means we know 4 minus y square by b square is 5 equal to 1. This is your answer, right? X square by 4 minus y square by 5 is equal to 1 is your answer. This is the required answer. Now, we will do the eighth one. What is the 0 comma plus or minus 5? Look into the eighth one now. What is this? Plus or minus? See the eighth one. What is this? What is this plus or minus? Sorry, 0 comma plus or minus 5. What is this 0 comma plus or minus 5? And 4 correct 0 comma plus or minus 8. They given like this, right? This is 5. Look into this. Here we can decide. Since 0 comma plus or minus 0 plus or minus 8. Since x coordinate equal to 0, the transverse axis along y-axis. Correct. Since x coordinate equal to 0 in both the points, the transverse axis along y-axis. Correct. Along y-axis. So you will get this is along y-axis, right? This is along y-axis. So immediately I can write this one. I can compare here. This is the value, right? The equation required hyperbola is y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. This is the required equation. Required hyperbola is this one. Now we can compare with this. What is from this? Vertices means a is equal to 5. From this foci, c is equal to 8. We know that c square is equal to a square plus b square. So b square is equal to c square minus a square. So 64 minus 25. Check that what it comes now. It comes 39. Correct? Look at b square is equal to 39, right? You can check that. Now b square is equal to 39. The equation of required hyperbola is y square by 25 because a square, a is 5. A square I can write here 25 minus x square by 39 equal to 1. That is the required one. Correct? They are asking the equation of hyperbola. Y square by 25 minus x square by 39 is equal to 1. Correct? Because b square plus c square minus a square. You will get c 84, 64 minus 25. It will give 39, right? You will get this one. This is the required equation of the hyperbola. Next, ninth one. What is this 0 comma plus or minus 3? Foci 0 comma plus or minus 4. Ninth one similar to eighth one. That you can do it. Because ninth one similar to eighth one, you do it yourself. No need to do that, right? Because both are same. The given what is 0 plus or minus 3. A is equal to 3. You will get, and you will get foci. C is equal to, you will get 5. That you can do that. Similar, you can do that. I think I yourself we can do that ninth one. No, 10th one. I will do 10th one now. Look at the 10th problem, right? Just go to the 10th problem now. When I'm talking to 10th one, foci. The given foci equal to plus or minus 5 comma 0. Okay, they are given. The transverse axis is of length 8. Transverse axis is of length 8. That means what the meaning of that? Length of transverse axis. The given a dash is equal to 8 is given. That is given. So length of transverse axis a dash is 8 is given. And also you can see foci plus or minus 5 comma 0 means transverse axis along x-axis. So correct. This is a hyperbola, right? This hyperbola, right? Transverse along x-axis. So this hyperbola equation we know x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. According to this point, this is foci. So you will get c comma 0, right? from this point. So foci is equal to plus or minus c comma 0. If we compare, c is equal to 5, right? But the given a dash is equal to 8 is given, right? But we know that a dash is equal to 8. The length of a dash is 2a is equal to 8. So a is equal to 4. We got a value 4, right? Then we should find b value. We know the relation. C square is equal to a square plus b square. So c square is 25 equal to a square is 16 plus b square. So b square is equal to 9. Correct? B square is equal to 9. A is equal to 4 means a square equal to 16. The equation required hyperbola I can write here. X square by 16 minus y square by 9 is equal to 1. This is the equation. Correct? This is the required equation of the hyperbola. We go like this, right? B square is equal to 9. 2a is equal to 4, a square is equal to 16. I can mention like this. This is the equation of that. 11th one, foci equal to 0, plus or minus 13. See the 11th one, foci is equal to plus or minus, again plus or minus 13. Foci is equal to 11th one, foci equal to plus or minus 0, plus or minus 13. This is foci. And the conjugate axis is of length 24. They're talking conjugate axis. Then the conjugate axis means BB dash. BB is equal to 24 is given. Conjugate axis, length of conjugate axis is given 24. Can you observe here? This one 0, plus or minus 13. Exponent 0 in this means the transverse axis along y axis. This transverse along y axis. You will get like this, right? You will get like this. This is transverse along y axis. You will get this is hyperbola. You will get. So I can write this is 2b is equal to 24. So b is equal to 12, right? B is equal to 12. Here from this I can write foci means I can write 0, plus or minus c. C is equal to 30. B is equal to 12. Correct? I'm going to find a, right? What is a now? I can find c square is equal to a square plus b square. So a square is equal to c square minus b square. C square means 169 minus b square 144. It will be 25, right? 25, a square is equal to 25. Since this is a required hyperbola of this one, correct? Then what is the equation of this hyperbola? The equation of the required hyperbola is y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. I can write y square by a square means 25. X square by b square means I can write what is the b square value? I can write this is 144, right? B is equal to 144 equal to 1, right? You can be careful here. This is a hyperbola. Y square by a square. A square is equal to 25 minus x square by b square. So b is equal to 12 we have. B square is equal to, we'll get 144 is equal to 1. It comes right. That will be your answer, right? Correct. Now, see the 12th one. Foci plus or minus 3 root 5 comma 0. Go to the 12th one now. Look into the 12th problem. Just go to the 12th one. Again 12th one. Foci plus or minus 3 root 5 comma 0. 12th one. The latest rectum is of length 8. So latest rectum of length they are given. Latest rectum of length. Latest rectum they are given, right? Latest rectum, the latest rectum of length 8. Latest rectum of length 8 is given, right? Always remember, latest rectum is whatever a, the ellipse or hyperbola 2b square by a is equal to 8 is given. Foci plus or minus 3 root 5 comma 0. You can observe here. Here, if you compare with this y coordinate 0 means the transverse axis along the x-axis. So you can remember this is transverse along the x-axis, right? So this is the equation required hyperbola. This equation I will tell you now. Here, if we compare this, I can compare this one plus or minus 4 plus or minus c comma 0. Then therefore c is equal to, you write 3 root 5, right? This is c value, right? Again, right there, this implies c is equal to 3 root 5. We compare the c comma 0, c equal to 3 root 5. I have this one here, you can see b square, 2 4s I can cancel here. B square is equal to 4 here, right? You'll get b square is equal to 4a. This is implies. And then b square is equal to 4a. They are given. Length of the latest rectum is given. 2b square by a is equal to 8. simplify b square is equal to 4a. We'll get b square is equal to 4a, length of the lattice rectum. Remember this relation. But we know that the relation, but equation we know this, x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. But I know b square, I don't know anything here, but we can see here b square is equal to 4. We know the relation, c square is equal to a square plus b square. C square means 3 root 5 whole square. 3 root 5 whole square means this one 45. A square plus what is b square? 4a, correct? I have the equation now. A square plus 4a minus 45 equal to 0, right? You can find the factors here. You can find the factors here. If you find the factors, you will get a plus 9 into a minus 5, right? Am I right? You get 9a minus 5a, 4a, 45. You will get a is equal to minus 9 into 5. But a equal to minus 9, we can eliminate that. Always a is positive. A quantity is positive. So I can't consider this one. And from this, I will eliminate this value. A is equal to 5, we will consider. Why? Because we have one more rule also. The value of c is greater than a also. Okay, we can consider c equal to 3 root 5, a is equal to 5. If we take positive quantity, then a is equal to 5. B square we can find here. So b square equal to 4a. Correct. When b square is equal to 4a, then 4a into this one will be 20. B square is equal to 20, right? A square is equal to 25. And what equation of hyperbola I can write? X square I can write. X square by a square is 25 minus y square by b square is equal to 20. Again is equal to 1. I can write, right? I can write here x square by 25 minus y square by 20 is equal to 1. X square by 25 minus y square by 20 is equal to 1. So b plus a square and b square here. It gives the required equation of required hyperbola. Correct. Now I will discuss about next one. We have done 12th one, right? We completed 12th one now. So I will do now 13th one. Foci plus or minus 4 comma 0. Length of lattice rectum is 12. Oh, this is similar to the given. Same. Again 13th, 12th and 13th is similar. You can do same. No need to do again. 13th was similar to this. In the here the given plus or minus 4 comma 0. For c equal to 4 is given. Same way again. Length of lattice is given 12. Same problem, same model. They change the values. You can do it yourself. Correct, you can do it yourself. 13th one, you do it yourself. Because similar to 12th one. I have done 12th one. 13th one similar to 12th one, you can do it. Okay. There also you get A will get two values. Negative A value you can eliminate. Take positive value, you can do that. Next, 14th one. What is this plus or minus 7 comma 0? We get to the 14th one now. 14th one. When I am doing 14th one, just look at 14th one. What is this? Plus or minus 7 comma 0. E is equal to 4 by 3. So E is equal to 4 by 3 is given. What is this plus or minus 7 comma 0? Remember. When what is this plus or minus 7 comma 0? Definitely the transverse axis along x-axis. Because we know this is hyperbola, right? This equation we know that x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Correct. This one, what is this? Means we get a value. This is nothing but plus or minus a comma 0. So I can write this is plus or a comma 0. A is equal to 7. Correct. Eccentricity, when I am talking eccentricity, c by a is equal to 4 by 3. But a value is 7. So you get c is equal to 4a by 3. Then you will get 4 into 7. 28 by 3, right? Because a is equal to 7, c is equal to 28 by 3. Correct. Now what I should do here? This one, I can find relation here. Again, we know relation c square is equal to a square plus b square. So b square is equal to c square minus a square, right? C square, 28 by 3 whole square. You will get 784 by 9. 28 square 784 by 9 minus a square 49. Correct. You can simplify here. This one, you simplify this, it will come 784 minus 441 by 9, right? You simplify, it comes this one 343 by 9, correct? 343 by 9. 343 by 9. Correct that? You can verify that. I'm subtracting this, right? Subtracting this one, you will get yes 343 by 9. Correct. That is right. 343 by 9. We got 343. This is b square only 343 by 9. A square is 49. Therefore, the equation of the required hyperbola is, again, the required hyperbola is, I can write here x square by, oh, I'll write here. Required hyperbola is, I can write here x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1, right? I can replace what is a square here, x square by 49, y square by b square is 343 by 9. Take this one. So x square by 49 minus 9y square by 343 is equal to 1. This is equation of this. X square by 49 minus 9y square by 343 is equal to 1. X square by 49 minus 9y square by 343 is equal to 1. We have completed 14th one, right? Now the 15th one. The last problem, 15th one. They are given 15th one. 0, comma. Look at the 15th one. They are mentioned here. 0, comma plus or minus root to 10. Passing through 2, comma 3. Just you observe the 15th one. The 15th one. Foci is equal to 0, comma plus or minus root to 10. Correct. Passing through 2, comma 3. Passing through 2, comma 3. We check here. When they mention like this 0 plus or minus root 10, here we can see here, since x coordinate is 0, so definitely the equation of the hyperbola is this one, right? What about equation of this? Y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. Correct? Transverse axis along y axis, since 0, plus or minus root 10. From this I can decide 0, plus or minus c. So c is equal to root 10, right? Passing through 2, 3. The hyperbola is passing through 2, 3. But we know the relation. What is a square equal? We know the relation here. A square plus b square is equal to c square, right? I can write this relation. What about b square? I can write c square means 10 root 10 whole square. 10 minus a square, remember. B square is equal to 10 minus a square, right? I have this one. Now you can see the equation required, I can write. The equation required hyperbola is y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. You can observe here. But this hyperbola passes through 2, 3. This hyperbola passes through 2, 3, right? Since it passes through 2, 3, substitute in this. Since it passes through 2, comma 3. Since it passes through 2, comma 3. Since it passes through 2, comma 3. Substitute in this, you will get 2, comma 3. 9 by a square minus 4 by b square is equal to 1. If I simplify this, 9b square minus 4a square is equal to a square b square, right? I'm trying to find the value of a and b. But we know b square equal to 10 minus a square. I can write 9 into 10 minus a square. 4 into 4a square. A square into b square means 10 minus a square. I can write. You multiply, you get a biquadratic equation. You can simplify this, right? Because you know this one here again, eliminate this, again eliminate this. You remember b square equal to, we know that 10 minus a square, you remember that. I can solve here. What is this one? 90 minus 9a square, the minus 4a square. Correct, 90 minus 9a square minus 4a square. This is 10a square. You will get minus 8 power 4. Transfer one side, you will get 8 power 4. Correct, you transfer one side here. 90 minus 9a square, 4a square. You can observe here, if we transfer this side, this will come a power 4. 10, you will get this side negative. You will get 23 minus 23a square plus 90 equal to 0, right? You can check that. You will get like this, right? This is the value you will get here. You can simplify here now. When you are simplifying here, you can simplify. What you get to a power 4 minus 23a square plus 90 equal to 0. You should find the factors of this. So 18 5 second, right? 18 5 second, right? A power 4 minus 18a square minus 5a square plus 90 equal to 0. 18 5 is 90, right? You can take it a square common. You get a square minus 18. I can take 5 common. A square minus 18 equal to 0. Again, you take a square minus 18 common. A square minus 5 equal to 0. A square is equal to 18 comma 5. I got two values, right? A square is equal to 18 comma 5, right? Check the values of that. I got a square is equal to 18 comma 5. Am I right? We got a square is equal to 18 or 5. Two values we got. 18 or 5, right? Two options we have. But you remember always, you can check that the value of C should be greater than A. That we know that. Always remember. In the hyperbola, C value should be greater than A. In hyperbola, I should consider which value. But we know that in hyperbola, correct. Since C greater than A, C greater than A, what is C value? Root 10. Root 10 is 2 point something, right? No, sir, 3 point something. Root 10, 3 point something. In hyperbola, C greater than A. Always remember, C greater than A in hyperbola. C less than A in the case of ellipse. Hyperbola C greater than A. This is 3 point something. So 3 point something means this is A square. So A means if you take this one, you will get root 18. 2A square is A is equal to root 18. You will get more than this, correct? So A value should not be there. Always C greater than A. That's the reason C greater than A. If you consider C square greater than A square, right? But C square is 10 here. So 10 should be, if you take this to 18, it cannot be possible. Only from this conclusion I can write A square is equal to 5. Only this is possible, right? Since C square equal to greater than A square. What is C square is 10. A square is, you can write this is a 5. So only this is possible. I can consider A square is equal to 5. I should avoid 18. Consider A square is equal to 5. Now we know relation. B square is equal to 10 minus A square. So 10 minus 5, which is 5. A square is 5, B square is 5. Both are same. A square is 5, B square is equal to 5. Therefore, the equation of the hyperbola is, after finding A square, B square, therefore, the equation of the hyperbola is, I can write, the equation of the hyperbola is, conclusion. Therefore, the equation of the hyperbola is, the equation of the hyperbola is y square by a square minus x square by b square is equal to 1. You can replace a is equal to b, right? Y square by not replace, sorry, both are same. Yeah, this is the equation, right? I got here a square 5, b square 5 is equal to 1. Y square by 5 minus x square by 5 is equal to 1. This is the required equation of the hyperbola. With this, I have completed the entire exercise. I have completed, right? Everything is over now. I completed this. I hope you understood that. Any specific problem should I repeat this? Please let me know in the chat box. I can repeat. If you want any repeat, I can repeat the questions. Is it fine then? See you tomorrow for revision class. Fine, good. Fine, then see you tomorrow. Good night. Done. Done. Like the session, done it.